Hey, what's up, everybody? I want to welcome you to another episode of the Dreamers Pro Daily Recap, where we give you a recap of all of the hot topics that we covered that day. You can catch them in their long format and also catch it fully streaming for free on Apple Podcasts. Now, this is a continuing story that we covered not too long ago, and it's centered on that Lakers trade between the Lakers and the Dallas Mavericks when they shocked everybody by trading Anthony Davis for Luka Doncic, and everyone was shocked, and one of the people that was probably most shocked was Anthony Davis. I remember when it went down, AD said, I think one of the first people he called was LeBron James. LeBron said he didn't know. People thought he knew, and blah, 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 blah. So just about a week or so ago, Marcus Morris, the brother of Markieff Morris, who's currently a member of the Los Angeles Lakers, he sat down with a podcast. I don't remember the name of the podcast, and he was essentially describing the play-by-play of when he found out his brother was being traded to the Lakers. And he said at the time his brother was actually looking to retire after his time with the Dallas Mavericks, and then he got the call, and Marcus Morris then essentially revealed that LeBron wanted Markieff to be a part of the trade. And then everybody was like, what, Scooby? What, Shaggy? What, the LeBron that didn't know wanted Markieff Morris to be a part of the trade? So we did a show about that. It did pretty well. I even tried to send it to AD. I don't know if you saw it. So yesterday, Gil's Arena decided to clickbait the hell out of me. And they had a show up there, and it had the following headline. It says, Anthony Davis should have beef with LeBron forever. And then on the thumbnail, you see Gilbert Arenas, Anthony Davis, would probably show it to you, and LeBron and Luka laughing. And then you see they wrote, he knew, right? So I click on the video immediately to watch what they had to say. And as I'm watching it, I realized quickly that Gilbert Arenas wasn't even on the show, but they put him on the thumbnail. So everybody clickbaits, it seems. So anyway, Gilbert Arenas wasn't there. But they had the panel of Nick Young, Kenyon Martin, and others, and these guys. And they were essentially saying that LeBron James knew. LeBron James absolutely knew that AD was being traded. But they revealed something that I was unaware of, which was some new comments from Anthony Davis that I want to read. I got this from Gil's Arena. Let me read it for you guys. It says, ain't no change for me. It's a business. People are saying that LeBron knew of the trade because of the Marcus Morris quoting saying James knew that comes out. James is saying he don't. At this point, whether he knew or not, or whoever knew, or was it quiet when Shams dropped the news, it doesn't matter who knew. The SHIU know what happened. But what I want to do is I want to take it a step further. I want to play what some of these NBA guys had to say about whether or not they believed that LeBron knew. But before we even get into what they had to say, today's video is brought to you by our sponsor, Game Time. One of the things I love the most is making unforgettable memories with family and friends. And one of the things I hate the most is overpaying for tickets only to find out that there was a better deal out there. That's one of the reasons I started using Game Time. Game Time is the easy go-to app for last-minute tickets to sports, concert, and theater events across 60+ states in the US and Canada. Game Time saves me time, money, and stress by curating only the best deals, so I'm not wasting a whole bunch of time scrolling through overpriced tickets. Game Time Picks is my favorite tool. It highlights the best value seats instantly. No more guesswork, no more wasting time. For example, I'm very interested in the game between the Wizards and the New York Knicks. Here's what I like to do. I turn on all-in pricing so I know exactly what I'm paying for upfront. I check Game Time Picks to find out the most valuable deals. And finally, I pick the ticket I want. I choose between the cheapest deal, the great deal, or the amazing deal. Once you select the ticket you want, you can use their panoramic seat view to ensure you know exactly what you're getting before you buy. So take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Game Time. Download the app, create an account, and use code CLNS for $20 off your first purchase. Again, create an account and use redeem code CLNS for $20 off. And remember, whenever you support this sponsor, you're supporting this channel. Thank you. So what we want to do is want to play what Kenny and these guys had to say now, and we're going to come back and continue on the show. Take a listen to that there.
The Morris twins said Brian said that?
So a report came out that Bron had asked for Marcus Morris as a part of the deal.
Damn, see, LeBron got to stop talking sometime. Yeah. Of course Brian knew, you know.
You think he knew for real?
Not that far ahead,
You
but
do?
I think he knew.
Hell yeah.
I think he knew once they was about to lock it in. I don't think he knew that far ahead.
It ain't like you trading this boy for nothing. Like, if you just trading Anthony Davis for...
Yeah.
Huh?
So when did you think he found out? When it was done already?
Before it was done.
Before it was done?
Absolutely. When they picked the phone up to get ready, absolutely.
Really?
It would just, but Luka obviously don't know. He's blindsided by it.
Yeah, he was.
But you got to
I
think
feel like
that
the deal was done and then the first call was Bron.
Yeah,
they call him the
so.
GM.
Yeah.
I feel like...
Is it okay if we make this move?
I don't think it's okay.
What if they probably asked him?
We doing?
It was already done, but they
I
probably
don't think they asked him, listen, this is what's about to transpire.
How you feel about this? Oh, it's cool.
Well,
all right, here you go.
Hey, this is
we
what's
got
about,
it for you.
This is what's about to transpire.
Would you ever want to play with
Would you ever want to play with Luka?
Yeah, okay,
How
well,
about right now?
Listen,
Oh, really? Bet.
Who we getting back? Well, shit, make sure Marcus Morris in it.
I think Markieff, right?
Markieff Morris. Make sure Markieff Morris in it, right?
Yeah, it's probably like, just, we got to get somebody.
They probably said this, they probably said P.J. Wash. He was like, nah, I don't know. Could have been. I wasn't there.
Yeah.
No,
But-
not PJ.
And Keith and Luka know they have a good
I wasn't there.
relationship.
It's hypothetical. I wasn't there. I don't know. I'm just putting words in the man. I ain't saying
They would have
this.
gave us Luka and PJ for AD all.
Oh, Nico would have been out of there.
Just blow Dallas up at this point.
Yeah, I think LeBron knew, to be honest.
Yeah.
I really do.
But that's a tough spot for him to be in. But again, it's Luka Doncic.
I think the only situation that he's been in that he had no say-so and control in was that situation in Miami.
So you heard what the panel had to say. What are my thoughts on all of this? Let me say this. I think Anthony Davis had a rude awakening. I think AD thought that, oh, I'm special. Nah, bro, you're not special. You're not special. You got snaked. You got snaked. Because for Marcus Morris to say that, I don't know why Marcus Morris would lie. I think Marcus Morris wasn't lying. I think he just slipped up. But he isn't the only NBA player that said LeBron knew. That one he just gave pure evidence. But other players said that. Steven Jackson said so. Matt Barnes said so. Kenyon Martin just said so. Nick Young just said so. These guys know the business, right? Now, AD, I think a lot of it has to do with the fact that he doesn't want to believe that he would get snaked like that more than LeBron actually knowing. Because AD is a part of the business. He must know these things happen all the time. On the part of LeBron James, this don't surprise me. This don't surprise me. And now, ever since that trade, it looks like, that it ultimately worked out. And then we're also hearing that, AD was complaining, AD didn't want to be there, and da-da-da-da-da, and this and this and that, and this and this and that, and therefore he didn't want to play the center position, and da-da. So now basically what they're saying is, you see, well, you didn't want to be here anyway, so therefore, good riddance. Now, AD is gone. AD's with the Dallas Mavericks. Kyrie suffered his injury. They're still in the play-in tournament picture. But if we look at the Lakers, it hasn't been all smooth sailing. Because although they were able to acquire Luka Doncic, who's their best player right now, there's still some deficiencies. They gave up something for that. Luka, yes, he's an offensive maestro. He's a playmaking machine. But he is a serious defensive liability. And just this morning, I was watching a clip from Get Up, and Jay Williams already talking about how they're going to hide him on defense and all that other stuff. So it wasn't a perfect trade. And there are some Laker fans that are a little bit trepidatious about it. But in terms of AD feeling like LeBron, well, it looks like he did know, bro. And listening to AD, it sounds like he's over it. But he got a rude awakening. He got a rude awakening. Why LeBron wouldn't tell AD if they're as close as they say that they are, I don't know. Because now it would have been better if you told him straight up that he knew than for him to sit there and wonder. Because I'm sure this probably played a role in their relationship. This is gonna have an effect on their relationship. So this is something that actually flew under the radar for me. It's something I didn't pick up on until this morning when I saw it being discussed. But apparently there was a panel yesterday on ESPN First Take where they were discussing the WNBA, women's athletics. And in the midst of this discussion, Molly Qerim decided to now jump in and kind of make it a war of the war between sexes, which was, essentially asking why do NBA players make more money than WNBA players, and why isn't there an equal share? Because as you guys know, with the NBA and the league, they have a very the pie is almost split evenly down the middle. So she was saying she wanted to see what the split was in the NBA and why isn't it the same for the WNBA players. And Stephen A. Smith was the one that was talking. And the minute Molly Qerim tried to go into that whole thing of, why aren't things more equal, and basically the discrimination against women versus men and all of this stuff, Stephen A. Smith then began to swiftly, and when I say swiftly, shut her down. And when he even finished explaining his first point, she then said to Sinead, she said, "Can you please explain what I just said to him in woman talk?" Essentially saying that he doesn't have the comprehension to understand what a woman is saying, right? Just once again, trying to show this guy up on his own show. So for those of you who didn't hear this exchange, I want to play for you now, and then want to come back and continue on the show. Take a listen to what these guys had to say here.
Let me throw out these numbers to you, Janae. Caitlin Clark last year made $76,535 in the first year of her contract.
Wait, say that again. How much?
$76,535. Obviously, she made considerably more off the court. But this is on the court. Her WNBA obligation.
Yeah, I'm listening.
WNBA Players Association chose to opt out of their current collective bargaining agreement at the end of the 2025 season. Lottery picks in 2025 will make $78,831 in their first season, $348,198 over the course of their 4-year deal. But once the new CBA is scheduled to kick in 2026, there's exponentially more dollars projected to be available to her. So she could, as Shannon pointed out, be looking to go back to college with an NIL deal that's going to get her more money, wait to go into the WNBA draft, and position herself to sign for exponentially more than she would be able to if she entered this WNBA draft.
I appreciate those numbers. They're illuminating. What I want to know is the percentage based on the league's revenue. That's what we need to get. I'd like to know the comparison between the NBA, what they're bringing in, and the players.
Let me tell you why
that
the comparison
percentage versus the WNBA, the league's taking in.
Let me tell y'all why. Hold on,
Jenna.
I'm going to come to you. Let me tell y'all why y'all need to stop that. We're going to be honest on this show.
Why?
The fact of the matter is, stop comparing yourself to the NBA, because the NBA makes exponentially more. So because it was a combination of two things. Number one is the money that they make, and number two is the position that you're in from a collective bargaining perspective to ask yourself how much credit do you deserve. The product for the WNBA has been fabulous. It's been absolutely outstanding. I'm not trying to compromise or throw any shade on that whatsoever. But for years, what the WNBA has proclaimed is that there's a lot of things that we were doing that was losing us money. And so now that we're making a little bit of money, all of a sudden, we're not going to be in a position as of yet to give you. Now, that's not an argument I'm buying. They need to go and get it. But until you do, there's going to be more Olivia Miles.
I mean this with all due respect, Stephen A. Chiney, I need you to woman-splain to him, please, what I was trying to say right there.
Yeah, first of all, Stephen A., money matters, and I totally understand that, but it's not everything when it comes to players' decision-making. And when you're talking about Notre Dame, why would they not be able to retain Olivia Miles? A lot of it is a basketball argument. She wants to go and be a primary option, and she can also make money elsewhere. So it's a two-part type of answer, not just, oh, they should be able to throw as much money and cash at her so she stays. That's not how it works. You see other people leave the transfer portal, enter the transfer portal because they want to have the opportunity to be the alpha, to be the top dog, especially. And then also when it comes to the W, I think some of these arguments are a little played out with like, oh, well, the W's not making money or these players aren't making enough. Here's Caitlin Clark's salary when it comes to X, Y, or Z. To me, what we should be focusing on is what you listed at the end. The CBA, because there's going to be an opportunity. It's not just Olivia Miles that's making this decision because she's going to make more. If you look at most of the players in the current WNBA, their contracts, they're mostly on one-year deals because they all want to tap into the CBA money. So I think it's two-part.
All right, hold on. Number one, it is two-part. I was getting on you for only mentioning the one part. I wasn't saying that you were wrong for mentioning the one part. I was saying there was another part to it, so since you didn't mention it, I added it. That's number one. Number two, I'm not against the WNBA players. I think they should get paid. I want them to get paid. But you know good and damn well, when that collective bargaining negotiation comes up, that tired old argument that you just alluded to is exactly what they're going to bring to the negotiating table.
No,
to
it's
sort
not.
Of curb.
It's not. It's not.
When you're negotiating?
Yeah, when they're negotiating, they're looking at the revenue metrics, they're looking at the viewership, they're looking at the attendance, they're looking at the merchandising, and they want to collaborate with the league. And the reason why I know this is I used to be on the WNBA Players Association, and my sister's the president. So, like, I know what their vision is. They're not using those tired or old arguments. They want to work hand in hand with the league so that they can continue to grow.
Got it. Appreciate your sister being in that position. Appreciate you knowing what you're knowing. I'm just some old dude that's been covering collective bargaining negotiations for 30 years, and I have never been a part of the negotiation, Shannon, ever in my life, nor have I seen a negotiation ever in my life when somebody comes to the negotiating table asking for what they believe that they deserve, and the other side as reprehensible, as foolish, as non-substantive as that argument may be, will not try to throw something into the negotiations to justify not giving you what you deserve. Correct. That's all I was saying. That's all I was saying.
Yeah, they're going to
I've never been a part of a negotiation that was different, ever.
But I have, and they're going to push back. Yeah, I mean, I was on the executive committee. I was vice president of the WNBA while I was in the league.
No, I'm saying, really, you've been a part of the negotiation where somebody just said to you, you're absolutely right, we think you deserve what you're asking for?
No. It's a give and take. We all know that. But
So you heard what was said there. First of all, I got to say this. As somebody that was watching that, it was really cringy listening to Molly. It just was cringy. I'm like, why are you saying this in the way that you're saying it? It just was cringy to me. Maybe I'm the only one. Maybe some people loved it. To me, it was just really cringy, number one. Number two, this isn't the first time this subject has been broached. I remember the time when I think it was Lisa Leslie who brought it up, I think on The Shop, and Draymond Green shut her down immediately. Essentially, what Draymond was saying is like the NBA subsidizes the WNBA. We already do enough, right? So why are you looking at our situation here, number one? Number two, NBA players generate a lot of money for their league. So they have a lot more bargaining power. You can't compare WNBA revenue to NBA revenue. The NBA just signed a $77 billion 10-year deal, 11-year deal. You can't compare the two. So to say, why aren't we getting similar cuts? You can't compare because what they generate is way greater, number one. Number two, why are you even looking at them when you know that the NBA subsidizes the WNBA? And then trying to play this thing of, oh, you know, it's unfair to us. What are you even talking about? Look at Caitlin Clark and how much of a sensation she was. Do you think Caitlin Clark was as big as she was only because women were watching her? Don't you know that there were a lot of men that were interested in Caitlin Clark, that she brought a lot of attention to the WNBA and the Indiana Fever? Like, what are we talking here? Men showed a lot of support. As a matter of fact, if the men didn't show as much support as they did by tuning in and watching, we don't know if Caitlin Clark is as big as she is. Like, what are we talking about here? So for her to try to assert that, I just thought that I thought that was unfair, right? I thought it was unfair. And then he brought up also some very good points in terms of negotiating, right? Nobody's going to come and bring your thing and say, okay, I'll accept everything that you do. No, they're going to have there's going to be pushback. There's bargaining. In every negotiation, there's always going to be bargaining, back and forth. So for her to bring up that point, I don't know what she was trying to say. And then the part about, can you explain it to him? Like, I didn't like that. Well, what message are you sending that he doesn't have the comprehension skills to understand what you're saying? I'm lost. Or are you saying that women speak a totally different language from men when both of y'all are speaking English? What if he turned around and say, Shannon, can you explain to her? She doesn't clearly understand, isn't capable of understanding what, can you explain to her in man speak? It would have been a whole big thing on ESPN. It would have been a huge thing, and that shows you a double standard that exists. Had Stephen A. Smith been the one to turn around and say, man, Shannon, can you explain to her in men speak? Because clearly she's not understanding. What do you think the blowback would have been there? Oh, Stephen A. Smith is sexist. You would have even had men running up there telling, man, Stephen A. Smith, that was irresponsible of you, and this and that. My thing is, there's no place for it. It's unnecessary. Those comments are not necessary. Ja Morant was having some words with the Warriors bench. Okay? He's having some words with them. Draymond is in the mix. All of these dudes are in the mix. Fantastic. So Ja starts to walk towards the bench, to his own team's bench. As he's walking towards his own bench, he then puts up a sign, not for like 2 seconds, like he put up a sign in broad view of him holding what looks like 2 guns, or what can be deemed as an assault rifle. So look at the picture here. Y'all see the picture? This is it right here. We all seen it. Now, I'm not going to play the video because I don't want a copyright strike. And it says, NBA to investigate Ja Morant using gun motions versus the Warriors. Now, somebody said, am I sure it's April Fool's? Nah, this one ain't April Fool's. Now, I want to read from a Yahoo Sports article. I'm going to pin it in the comment section. It's not long enough. The article is too long. But anyway, Yahoo just posted it. It says, NBA is looking at Grizzlies star Ja Morant using finger gun taunt towards Warriors bench. Memphis Grizzlies star Ja Morant could face punishment from the league after using a finger gun taunt during Tuesday's game versus the Golden State Warriors, according to ESPN Shams. The league is looking into the matter per Shams. Matter of fact, let me see if it takes me to the... Okay, good. So this is the tweet from Shams. Let me pull the tweet for y'all. So let me pin it in the comment section right there. So that's from Shams. And essentially what Shams said, the NBA is looking into Memphis Grizzlies' Ja Morant using finger gun motions towards the Golden State Warriors bench last night. Sources tell me and ESPN. Multiple members of the Warriors noticed the taunt, including Draymond Green, who appeared to approach an official after Morant made the gesture. This story will be updated. Folks, you heard the report. The NBA is about to launch an investigation into Ja Morant. Now, let me tell y'all what happened. After we did the live last night, some people were messaging me personally on Instagram. By the way, if y'all are not following us on IG, our handle, matter of fact, our handle is the same name as the channel, Dreamers Pro. And if you want to follow me on IG, let me post my handle in the let me post my handle right here in case y'all want to follow me. So this is my handle here. Okay. So that's my handle. Anyway, some people started messaging me telling me, yo, you didn't do your full research. You didn't see what Buddy Hield was doing on the side of the bench, on the sideline of the Warriors. So Ja Morant was just retaliating. And I'm saying to myself, regardless of what Buddy Hield did or what the Warriors bench did, that has nothing to do with the decisions that Ja Morant made as a grown-ass man, an adult, to go out there and put up a sign of 2 pistols. Given his history, Ja Morant doing that, to me, is insanity. It's insanity because this is not the first time this has happened. Somebody's calling Draymond a rat. How can Draymond rat on somebody that ratted on himself? What are we talking about? This is not something that happened in the tunnel. This is not something that happened in the locker room. This is not something that happened in the parking lot. This is something that happened on the NBA court on a televised game between the Golden State Warriors and the Memphis Grizzlies. Ja did it on the middle of the court. Now, Draymond Green pointing it out is absolutely correct. Stephen Curry pointed it out. The entire Warriors bench pointed it out. Because if you're playing in a competitive game and somebody does something like that could get them thrown out of the game, of course I'm pointing it out. I'm going to be like, yo, look at what he's doing. Get him off the court. Of course. It's competition. What are you talking about? What are you talking about? He's trying to get it. He's trying to get him out the game. Nobody snitched on nobody. Ja Morant did it to himself in this particular case. For the new people coming in, shout out to y'all. Let's try to get these likes up to 200 likes. So we got a report here from Shams and Yahoo Sports. I want to read the report here from Yahoo Sports. It says, the NBA is looking into Grizzlies star Ja Morant using finger gun taunt towards Warriors bench. Memphis Grizzlies star Ja Morant could face punishment from the league after using a finger gun taunt during Tuesday's game versus the Golden State Warriors, according to ESPN Shams Qerim. I can't remember how to say this guy's last name. The league is looking into the matter, per Shams. An overhead camera. Did y'all hear what I just said? An overhead camera caught Ja Morant pointing finger guns at Warriors bench during Grizzlies 134-125 law. They didn't say Draymond Green caught him. They said an overhead camera caught him. Not Draymond Green, not Willie Green, not whoever Green you can think of. It was the camera. And then the article goes on to say, multiple members of the Warriors noticed the taunt, including Draymond Green, who appeared to approach an official after Morant made the gesture. And it wasn't just Draymond Green that noticed it. Stephen Curry was also pointing it out. Go back and look at the video. Steph was pointing at him like, yo, what is he doing? Right? Like, what is he doing? Like, what is he doing? What is this dude doing? Now, let's get to the aspect of Ja Morant. The Memphis Grizzlies, as we sit here and speak, are in the middle of a playoff hunt. There are less than 8 to 7 games remaining for most teams this season. The Memphis Grizzlies are trying to get to the playoffs. Ja Morant is back from a prior suspension. Let's not forget, Ja Morant is back from a prior suspension that had to do with what? What did it have to do with? Did it not have to do with son trying to turn into to Van Damme or Rambo? Help me figure it out. Why was Ja Morant suspended? Was it not because of this very same thing? So you serve a suspension. I think he served, a 25-game suspension or something like that. He got suspended. He came back, and less than a full year later, son is pulling out pistol signs in the middle of an NBA game with 7 games left to go in the season. Who does this? Who does this? It's not even dumb what Ja's doing. What Ja is doing is not dumb. It's crazy. There's a difference. There's a difference between being crazy and dumb. This is not dumb. This is crazy. Only a crazy person would do this. Because these are all self-inflicted injuries. Like, why would you do that? Why would you do that? I want to break this down a little bit further for you guys. Ja was on the verge of being the face of the NBA. On the verge. Do you know what it is to be the face of the NBA? When you're the face of the NBA, you are an endorsement magnet. People will be looking to throw money at you. LeBron James earns $50 million a year or so in his NBA salary. LeBron earns about $150 million when you include endorsements. And that is a direct byproduct of the fact that he is the most marketable star in the NBA. And what LeBron has been very careful of is not effing up the bag. Say whatever you want to say about him, and I'm not a fan of LeBron, but one thing you got to say about Son, he is not making moves to jeopardize the bag. And the NBA was looking for the next star to replace LeBron James. They saw potential in Ja Morant, and Ja Morant, for reasons that are unbeknownst to the rest of the world, decided that not only did he not want to be the face of the NBA, he also wanted to do things to cost himself money. Wait, help me, remind me if I'm correct. Didn't Ja Morant cost himself money in his last contract because I think he missed games? Because I haven't covered this story in a long time. Didn't Ja Morant cost himself money already? I think because of being suspended or whatever it was, he wasn't eligible for like a super max or whatever. Am I right? Because I remember us talking about this, but this was like over a year ago. I think I remember this. Did Ja get caught with a $9 million? Nah, he didn't get caught with it. He just got caught trying to signal like he was going to do it. But help me if I'm wrong. Didn't Ja mess up his own money before? Or am I making this up? I know he did. So Son has cost himself a lot of money already. And now, if the NBA launches an investigation into Ja, what happens if they suspend him before the playoffs? So now, not only you affecting yourself, you're affecting the team. And people are like, yeah, Ja's auditioning because Ja wants to go play for another team. Yeah, I get all of that, and that's all fine and dandy. I get all of that. But if you bring Ja Morant into your organization, you also know that you're running the risk of this dude going out there and doing something like this again. Because this ain't the first time. This ain't the second time. This ain't the third time. This is probably the fourth time. And I think people feel like some people feel like some people are being hard on Ja Morant. Oh, why are you being so hard on Ja Morant? Why are you being so negative about the brother? Why aren't you letting him live? And I think that those people don't seem to understand. Appreciate the love, Patrick. Those people don't seem to understand that it's not people are not hating on Ja Morant or picking on Ja Morant or singling him out. People are frustrated at the fact that this dude is in a once-in-a-lifetime position and he is screwing up his own career by decisions that he is making. People don't understand why he is throwing away opportunity after opportunity after opportunity when there's so many kids and young men that will do anything to be in his position. And the thing that he's throwing away these opportunities for is the very thing that those people who live in those conditions are trying to get away from. That's what people don't get about Ja. Ja is trying to emulate a lifestyle that some people live on a daily basis, and they're trying to get out of it. So they're looking at him like, yo, son, you made it. So what are you doing trying to come back to where we at, especially when that's not where you're from? A lot of the gangsters are just shaking their head like, yo, what is going on? What is going on? Let's take it a step further. How many dudes do you know that are getting extorted every single day by this group, that gang, or whatever it is, because they know growing up, they were not a part of that. They didn't live that lifestyle, but they decided that all of a sudden, now that they're older, they want to be down. And they want to be down with so-and-so gang. It could be the Pyrus or whoever it is. And I want to be down with them. And they don't realize that they are setting themselves up to be extorted for life. They are setting themselves up to be extorted for life. That's literally what's happening. They are walking into extortion because they want to be down, and those dudes is looking at these dudes like they food. Like they suckered, because they're like, bro, we know you're not from this, and we're not going to let you rep this for free. It's just not going to happen. How many people do you think get extorted on a daily basis trying to be a part of something that they have no business being a part of? So Ja trying to emulate this lifestyle is just something I don't understand. It's just something I don't understand. You're an NBA player. You're making tens of millions of dollars a year. Why jeopardize that? Like, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know what's up with Ja, man. I don't know what's up with that dude. I don't know. I don't know. I didn't grow up in the roughest hoods. When I was growing up, I've been to them from the parts that I've been. I've been to some areas in Baltimore. I lived in the Bronx. I didn't live in the projects. I didn't live too far from the projects. I have been to the projects many, many times where my friends were from, some of them. I've been to Flatbush, stayed in Flatbush, been to some of the rougher areas in Brooklyn and all of that. And let me tell you something. Most of those people, if they had the opportunity, they would get the hell out of there immediately. That don't mean that they're not going to rep where they're from or they don't love where they're from. But if you gave them an opportunity to get out of that stuff, they would leave immediately. Nobody takes pleasure in it. So for you to have already made it, but then trying to act like as if you're a part, I just don't get it. I just don't get it. I just don't get it. I don't understand it. Is he doing this to get IG girls or not look soft? Is corny. You don't have to be hood. You can be you. Shout out to Chavez. Is he doing this to get IG girl? If I'm being honest, Ja Morant plays. He's an NBA player. I don't think he would have to do much of anything to get girls. Like you ain't got to do nothing. Ja Morant doesn't even. If Ja dressed like a freaking dork, it wouldn't make a difference. Women will be attracted to Ja Morant. So if he's trying to do that to get their attention, I mean, he missed the whole point. You don't need to do anything at that level, like you're Ja Morant. So if that's what he's doing, I don't know. Somebody say he's doing it for the men. He's exactly right. This guy, Jay, that just said it, he said he's doing it for the men, and he is exactly right. We're going to get to this point in a moment. Rumor is ex-head coach Jenkins was let go because he couldn't optimize Ja Morant, and then this happens. At this point, the front office needs to be called out. You make a solid point. Shout out to Matthew. Matthew makes a valid point. They enabled him. They enabled him to a certain extent. They enabled him because this has happened over and over under their watch. Let me ask y'all a question. Do you think Ja Morant gets away with this if he's a Miami Heat? Do you think if Ja Morant played for the Miami Heat, he will be able to get away with what he gets away with in Memphis? Do y'all think so? I don't think he gets away with nothing if he was a Miami Heat. And this gentleman that just pointed it out is speaking to leadership or lack thereof. There is no leadership. And if we're going to take it a step further, and this ain't no LeBron James thing, but we gotta talk about it. Let the men step into the room. What role does Ja Morant's pops play in all of this? Let's address the elephant in the room here. What role does Ja Morant's pops play in all of this? What role? What role does his father play in all of this? Where is the culpability? Where is the accountability? Some of y'all will say, "Oh no, man, when you get to that level, You ain't gotta, he ain't gonna listen to his pops. Cap. That's cap. It don't matter how old you become as a man. It got nothing to do with your age. The fact of the matter is, and parents watching this show will agree, no matter how old you get, you will still be looked at as a kid in your parents' eye. If you like, you can be 40 years old. Your parents still gonna see you as their kids. Number one. Sometimes my pops be calling me up. When he gets finished talking to me, I'll be looking at the phone and I'm looking at my wife. I'm like, did he just talk to me this way? And she's looking at me. She's like, he's your father. What do you expect? What do you want? I'm like, he talked in a disrespectful way. She's like, so what are you going to do? He's your father. What you going to do? I'm like, well, I'm not going to do nothing. The point is, it doesn't matter how big you get. I'm going to give you guys an example of this because people want to say, oh, nah, because Ja Morant is a grown. That's BS. That's nonsense. Look at Lewis Hamilton. Lewis Hamilton was brought up by his father and his parents, but his father bust his butt to get him to where he is. Lewis Hamilton's father follows him every single place he goes. Every single place. And Lewis has a deep respect for his father. Do you know why? Because Lewis was sitting down with this in this interview, and they were asking him, they were like, Lewis, how did you learn how to break? And he was like, well, my dad was telling me, he was like, you don't break here, you break there. And I was like, Dad, I can't do it. He's like, you do it. And he goes, my dad is not one of those people that you say, when he tells you to do something, you do it. That was a grown-ass man in his mid-30s talking like that about his father. The respect is still there. It has nothing to do with money. It has nothing to do with money. So the question then becomes, what role does the pops have to play in all of this? Because if your kids are screwing up, I'm sorry. The last line of defense in the household should be the father. I'm sorry. Let's just call it what it is. Dads have a role to play. And the dad should be the last line of defense in the house that says, okay, it stops when dad says so. You've seen those videos on TikTok where the kid says, oh, shut up, mom, like a joke. And then the dad jumps up out the chair. What did you say? The dad jumps up immediately. Why? Because he's the one that's supposed to be correcting all of this nonsense. NBA player or not, I'm still your father. Period. NBA player or not. Just because you're an NBA player, you're making millions of dollars, you telling me you can't listen to your parents? I'm lost. What are we talking about here? Okay, I'm above the age of 18 and therefore you don't respect your parents no more? I'm lost. We don't respect our parents no more just because we got money? I'm lost. What are we talking about? That means you have no ethics and no morals about you. If you don't respect your parents, who do you respect? If you don't respect your parents, you know you're not going to respect nobody. And in the case of Ja, I don't know if he does respect his parents or not, but he don't seem to respect the ramifications of his actions. And what, to me, I think when you respect your parents, it actually prepares you for life because you understand that there's certain boundaries you don't cross. Because if you can't respect them, trust me, society will make you learn respect. Society will make you learn the lessons you were supposed to learn as a kid. Society will teach you respect. If you don't learn it at your house, you're going to learn it when you go outside. When somebody knock you across the head, you're going to know a thing or two about respect. You're going to know it. You know it. So to me, I don't know what role his pops is playing in all of this. Because for Ja to do that again, and now the NBA is launching an investigation into him again, bro, that's crazy. And don't nobody feel sorry for Ja. Don't nobody feel sorry for him. Don't nobody feel sorry because he's doing it to himself. Don't nobody feel sorry for him. I don't feel sorry for him. Ja could have done 101 things. He didn't need to do that. He's a grown man. He should own the fact that he did that. And as we as men, let's stop babying grown men. Ja Morant is not a baby. Let's not turn him into one. Let's not put a bib on his mouth. He did that as a grown man. Now he has to deal with whatever comes from it. Patrick, culture today is different. Cats listening too much to bad hip hop role models. Promoting anyone can be good. Starts with the dads. Appreciate the super chat. Yeah, it does start with the dads. Not to say that mothers are not important. Mothers are very, very important. The majority of my life, I didn't grow up with my dad. But when eventually I started spending time around my dad, like my later years, it's a totally different thing. And then I noticed that a certain level of maturity came with that, a certain level of responsibility. And your father's going to teach you things that your mother simply can't teach you. Not because she doesn't have good intentions. It's just that she cannot fill the role. As a father cannot fill the role of a mother. Dads are important. Mothers are important. But dads need to be the ones that enforce certain rules and regulations. You can't have your kids running amok and doing all kind of crazy madness. You can't have that because they're going to become a detriment to society. So it starts with the dads, disciplining your kids. I didn't say you got to go out there and beat the hell out. I didn't say all of that. Just discipline them with wisdom. This is the role of fathers. It got nothing to do with money. If Ja has respect in himself, Ja would not be doing that stuff because he knows it will reflect poorly, not just on him, but also on his family. He knows that. You would know that. Come on, what are we talking about? So to me, man, that's Ja Morant for you. They're going to launch an investigation into him, and we're going to see what comes of it. Maybe he just messed up his own. Who knows? I've never seen somebody throw away hundreds of millions of dollars like the way Ja Morant is throwing hundreds of. Do y'all know that Ja Morant was actually on pace to become a billionaire sooner than LeBron James did? Were y'all aware of that? Ja was actually in a position to become a billionaire faster than LeBron. Faster than LeBron. It's crazy. And for what? I don't know, man. I don't know. Maybe John needs to join the Marines or something. Maybe that's what he needs to do. Maybe he needs to join the Marines. Maybe he needs to become a Ranger or something. I don't know. Maybe he needs to do one of those things. Honestly, because maybe you get it out of your system. I don't know. Maybe he needs to do something like that. Maybe go serve your country. Go serve your country. You will have more than enough opportunities to do all of that stuff. You can do your Rambo and all of it, your commando and all of it. You can get it out your system. Maybe that's what it is. No, seriously, y'all are laughing. I'm being serious. Maybe he needs to get it out of his system. Maybe that's what it is. Maybe he has a need to do it. He said, join the Rolling 60. he said, join the Rolling. No, I don't think that's gonna happen, man. I don't think that's gonna work out. There's no way he could. Well, anyway, I don't know. I don't want to get into all of that. All I'm saying is, son needs to relax. Like, son, just relax, enjoy your money, make your money, live your life. Somebody said you couldn't help but mention LeBron. That you say, here we go. I said something positive. It's like this dude was just lurking in the chat, just waiting for the LeBron name to go off, and then all of a sudden, somebody said Ja Arena. Oh my God. Somebody said Ja Arenas. I forgot all about that. But you know what? The guilt thing, this Ja thing is worse. Some people may think that's crazy, but this Ja thing is worse. You know why? Because the guilt thing, it only happened one time. Ja has been receiving warnings. They didn't even give Gil the warning. They were just like, oh, you messed up, it's over. Ja, they've been giving you warnings. He even did the interview, I think, with Jalen Rose. They gave him so many warnings. And he still did it. Bro, I don't know what to say, man. Y'all wish Ja all the best, man. I don't know. Yeah, I know Gil did, but this one just seemed worse to me, man, because they gave dudes so many opportunities. But then again, this one just seems worse. Like the one on social media, like, I just don't get it. I don't get it. I don't get it. I don't understand. Like, I'm trying to think about it. Like, if you're an NBA player, you live in the lifestyle that Ja Morant lives. You live probably in the neighborhood that he lives. How would you end up being in a situation where you need to drive around with burners? Like, I'm lost. I just don't understand it. You got enough money to hire some of the best security money can buy. So what would be the need for you to carry? I don't know. I don't know, man. Number one. Number two, why would you be in areas where you would need to do that? Now, I get things happen. Look what happened to Richard Sherman when he had people jump into his house and rob his family. Things happen. But I don't understand. Like, I don't understand. Like, I don't get it. I don't get it. It's almost tantamount to like Jalen Brunson from the New York Knicks living in East New York and driving around with a burner. It's like, yo, son, what's wrong with you? Number one, you play for the Knicks. Why are you not living in Manhattan? What are you doing in these neighborhoods? Why do you have a gun on you? Like, what's up? Like, what are you doing right now? Like, I'm confused. So I don't understand. I don't know, man. Y'all figure it out. That's your boy. Like, y'all figure it out. I get it. Ja has down. I don't know. Anyway, man, that's the story. We'll keep following it as it continues to break, and we're gonna keep y'all updated on that. He probably because he got by who? Who would? I don't know. Anyway, y'all have a good one, man. We're gonna catch y'all a little bit. We're gonna catch y'all a little bit later. Y'all have a good one. Catch y'all later. Peace.